Hi, everyone. Jane Applegath here. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone, conversations that inspire. Every show, we offer you an inspiring person or topic to bring you closer to your big dreams so that you can live your epic life now. You can listen to the audio version on your favorite app. And if watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stefen Emunds wrote, always keep in mind that the strongest factor of your feng shui is you. Maire Diamond is a renowned teacher and expert in feng shui energy mastery. She's one of the world's top transformational leaders, star of the major network television show Feng Shui Your Life, a global best-selling author, and expert teacher on the law of attraction and feng shui. Featured in the worldwide phenomena The Secret, Maire has established worldwide following with more than 1 million students worldwide. She is a sought-after speaker in more than 30 countries and a personal business and spiritual mentor and consultant to a who's who of celebrities in film, music, C-suites, global leadership, sports, and even royalty. Marie's new book is titled Feng Shui Your Life, a beginner's guide to using your home to attract the life of your dreams. In it, she highlights her unique Diamond Feng Shui system that combines traditional Feng Shui teachings with the law of attraction, neuroscience, and quantum physics to help you increase the abundance in energy in your home and your life. Welcome, Maire. So nice to have you here today.
It's so beautiful to be here with you. I'm so excited for this interview.
Well, thank you so much. And we are excited to have you. I have delved a little bit into Marie's background and all of the insights into feng shui, and we are in for a real treat because this is something that sings to my heart, and I'm just dying to understand more about it. So thank you for being here. Let's start at the beginning. What inspired you, Maire, to do the work that you do today?
Well, to be honest, feng shui came my way. I didn't really look for it. I'm born in Belgium in a small, beautiful city called Bruges that is very well renowned. And so at was 15, I had a major accident and had a near-death experience. And so when I came back, really not being in great health, I was asking one of the mentors I already had at that time what I did do wrong to attract such an accident. And he said to me, "You have bad feng shui, Marie." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Right? I have no idea because, I'm from a Catholic background. So I did research in the libraries, but of course, there was no book on feng shui in that time. And so that is when I started understanding because he explained to me that I needed to move into another space because the space I lived in, my bedroom, was on the north side and I didn't have a lot of sunlight. And the north for me is personally not good based on my birthday. And he asked me to move to the west side and to paint it certain colors that I really would love. And I love whites and oranges. So I painted it these colors and I put also images up from friends, from romance. Like I create like a vision board around me of the things I wanted. And so, my life shifted completely from being bullied at school. I totally did not have any bullies afterwards anymore. I had friends, I had my first love. So all these great things started changing, but still, I only knew the basic principles. And it was until I was 30 that I was accepted to be a student of a grandmaster in feng shui in Malaysia because I'm a guest in the culture. I am not Asian, but I understood when I started studying with this grandmaster, I started understanding how it really worked, and I reached my master level, and that's what I've been teaching for the last 30 years.
Mm, fabulous. Just look how the universe and everything shifted for you to be the person and do the work that you do today. Just
I know.
fascinating. And I completely understand about the visual and placing yourself in those spaces before it
Yeah.
happens, because that's the quantum. So yes, I am so excited. That is so insightful. So in complete beginner's terms, then, can you explain what feng shui is?
Yeah. So feng shui literally means wind and water flow. And so it's a Chinese energy system. And so you can kind of compare it with the energy system that we use for our body, like acupuncture, acupressure, Tai Chi, Qigong, where we're moving the energy through breath and through movement to really feel better and to enhance our immune system. And so feng shui is in that way kind of an energy system of the house, of the place where you live and sleep and work, by creating, making sure that there's enough wind, good vibration, good chi around us. But this way, not by moving all the time, but making sure there is the right location for furniture, the right colors, the right images around you, and making sure that based connected with your birthday, that the areas of the wind, your compass directions that are good for you, are activated. So this is actually how we can start with feng shui. And then later on, we can look at landscape feng shui. It's like, where is your home located in the whole landscape? Close to water or on the mountains? Like, how does it affect you energetically? And so this is around for more than 3,000 years. And it's only since the 1980s that this information started coming over to the West.
Hmm. It's incredible, Marie, how the ancients knew so much. And in our culture, we need the proof, but science is now catching up with what has been available to us for centuries, but not explained to us, and therefore we were disbelievers. But that is fascinating. I know we're going to get more into that. So you were in the law of attraction. Give us, what role does feng shui play in the law of attraction?
Yeah. So, that's one thing that I learned from my grandmaster that really, hit home for me is that, most people, they think on the law of attraction, they need to attract with their mindset. They need to attract with, affirmations, with taking the right actions. And he said there are three parts to the law of attraction. The first part is the spiritual part. And that is actually, when you come to this world, you are literally coming in with a package, right? So a package of talents. You're born in a certain place, born in a certain culture. So that's actually your basic package that you try to make the most out of it. And you have perhaps a certain purpose in life that you know about, that you want to manifest. But he said that's only like 33% of our manifestation. There's another part that we call the human luck. And the human luck is really, what do you do with that basic potential that you have and increase that human potential by using the right mindset, having discipline and mastery about your emotions, being grateful, taking actions towards the goals and the desires that you have. And he said most people think that is like everything about the law of attraction, but he said that's only 33% because there's a third part, and that's your environment. And sometimes we know about it when people say location is everything, right? And I said yes, but how it looks inside the location is as important as the location of a place. And so the environment is actually the quantum physics field of the environment is affecting us subconsciously all the time. And so that is responsible for 33%. So that's the missing link on the law of attraction that most people are not aware of. We kind of feel it when we go to a certain place and we're like, oh, I love it here. And you keep hanging out there, even if it's aesthetically not so pleasing, but it just feels good, right? And then there are other areas you try to avoid. And you're like, I don't know why, because it's beautiful, but it's not the right vibe. And it's that vibe that we feel. But if we could know that there's a system behind it to create that vibe, to create it in alignment with who you are, that is feng shui.
Mm. Wow, feng shui and the law of attraction. Yes, I could see those three components, how they would have to come together to
Yeah.
produce the phenomena that became the law of attraction. And you're absolutely right. We always believe that if we use the power of our mind, and of course that is one third of it, but then we have to take the action and also the vibration, the frequency. So we want to be in an environment where the actual surrounding lifts our vibration. And so that frequency goes out into the universe, as opposed to, yes, I could see that completely. You say you're in a bright place, you need the sunlight. Um, we used to live in Washington State, and it was dark and gloomy and rainy all the time. And that was not my vibe at all. I don't think it's most humans' vibes. But now, much like Bert, you being in California, me being in Arizona, the light is just, it infuses us with energy, whether we're in it or whether we're just experiencing it from the brightness of our environment. So I could see that completely coming together. Wow. Thank you so much for that information. Well, now I would love to ask you, give us an idea about some simple steps that can radically change your business and personal future using feng
Well,
shui.
Well, the first step is making sure there is space around you, right? Because we want to create wind and water flow. So everything is cluttered, everything is chaotic around you, then it will reflect through the neuron mirrors that we have in our brain. It will reflect back into our subconscious mind, and we start feeling more confused and overwhelmed.
Mm.
So the first step is always create space. So look through your home with new eyes. So open the door, open the rooms, and like think, is this still reflecting what I want in my life? So for example, you have pictures up that are, I don't know, 10, 20 years old, and you're not current anymore, right? It could be about your children, about your business. Everything around you needs to reflect who you are right now. And so that's the first step. So let go of things that you're not using anymore, things that are just not aligned anymore or resonating with what you are and who you are right now. That's the first step. And then the second step is you need to also really look at the position of things. So the first step we always say is set up your desk or any place where you are working in such a way that you see the door of the space from the hallway coming in. So you would kind of see the people coming in. You don't need to see the bathroom door or the sliding doors, but when people come in, so you will become what we call the queen or king or president of your palace, of your space. And so think about the president of the United States, when he sits on his desk, he actually sees the four directions, the four corners of the room, and he sees all the doors. So he sees who comes in. So he doesn't sit, with his desk against the wall. He doesn't sit with his desk against the window to see what's going on in the world, because that is not where we attract energy from. We need to attract energy from where people come in, even if we're digital, even if we are online. Like I'm online with you right now, but I see if somebody comes in, what is going on. Because when you see the flow of people, you see the flow of money coming towards you, the
Mm.
flow of opportunities. So that is something very simple to do, is changing your desk, making sure in the sofa you see the people coming in from the hallway. When you sit at the dining room, see the people coming in, or any meeting you have outdoors in a restaurant, always see that you see people coming in. Never sit with your back to the door. So what we have seen is that it's changing the brainwaves. So when people sit with their back to the door, they go easier into beta brainwaves. We have tested that with encephalograms. And so when you sit looking at the door, you go easier into alpha brainwaves. Now, when you're in alpha, you're more creative, more optimistic, more solution focused. Yeah. When you're with the back to the door, you literally are focusing on the past. You're more worried. You're looking at the fears of your life. And so just changing your position is a great step. And there's so much more, but I perhaps you have some questions already from this point on.
Wow. Those are incredible, simple solutions that all of us could undertake today to make a difference. And how fascinating that you said, when you want to invite in the flow of energy as opposed to block it. And it's interesting because I have never liked a desk against a wall. I know
Okay.
that in some of these home makeovers, there's no room for a desk, but they stick it up against a wall. And I'm like, who wants to sit and look at a wall all day? And it's funny because you know right away that that's bad, but I just know it feels terrible. I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
a box, even though I've
Well,
got space around me.
you literally are, you're hitting a wall. So there can be a
Right.
wall of creativity, a wall of finance, a wall of your business. Like, so literally you can't open your energy, right? And
Mm,
so I would say you need to make sure there's space enough on your desk that somebody can sit there. Not that there has to be a chair, but somebody can sit on the other side, even if you're just doing online business. So you're kind
mm,
of opening up the space around you. And of course, make sure your desk is decluttered, it's organized before you start your work, and when you finish your work, make it again all organized. And then of course there are some other tips that we can work with. Is like, think about, you want everything lush, everything abundant. Yeah.
mm,
So for example, I have a plant behind me that is lush, right? Now you have a plant behind you in your visual that is not good feng shui, because it looks very dried, very empty, right? So very dead, to be honest, right? So I would suggest that you would change that in the future, because if you show something that is abundant and blossoming, you will blossom. You will be in a more positive mood. Yeah. So these
mm.
are some things you can do. And also colors, of course, play a big role around you. So for example, in business, I always suggest to have a lot of golden looking items around you, because gold is a color of abundance, color of like golden coins. Yeah. So it creates more
Right.
abundance around you, because subconsciously you're having that energy all the time around you. And in different areas, we'll work with different colors, of course.
Mm. Boy, we could do an entire podcast on this. This is fabulous. Thank you, Marie. Oh my gosh. Yes, I can understand. I need to put a plant there that's alive for
Yeah.
sure. But thank you. Well, personal energy numbers, what are they and their archetypes? And how does someone find their personal energy number?
Well, so what we have is that based on feng shui, we can look based on your birthday, what are the wind directions, because it's all about wind and flow, that are the strongest for you. And so, based on your birthday and your birth gender, you do have a calculation that is done. And we can find this out by going to my free app. You just put in Marie Diamond on the app stores, and so it actually gives you the request to put in your birth gender and your birth date, because it creates a calculation, and it's not numerology, it's a whole mathematical formula. And so it creates an energy number. And that energy number connects in, it's between 1 and 9. It creates you an archetype. And that archetype indicates which are the 4 directions that are the strongest for you. There's one for success, there's one, and that is for success and money, career. And there's one for relationships, one for health, and one for wisdom. So I'm just kind of opening the app right now. And then you will see that everybody will
Mm,
get a compass. Yeah. So this is a compass based on me, right? So I have a success direction that is southwest, a relationship is west. So for somebody else, that can be north and east, or southwest west. So I don't know based on your birthday, but that number stays for you for the rest of your life. This is your connect with your DNA energetic profile. And so what people then do is, and explain that all in the book Feng Shui Your Life. We go step by step through it, but you can already figure a few things out with the app. That is, you hold the app literally in front of you in the center of a space, and you see where it indicates your success direction. So, for example, my success direction is literally behind me. Right, you can't really see it, but these are where my books are, where my awards are. There's also my contracts are there, my bank statements. So anything to do with money and success is placed there. So in my relationship direction, I have my team pictures there. I have a globe there because I'm global. So you should have a globe in your relationship direction as you're going global with your show, right? And so, but anything that resonates with you personally, connected with your relationship or health or your success. And you, by putting it there, you act like it's acupuncture. Like literally, like you activate certain areas of your home that are personally towards you. This is the personal feng shui works the fastest from all the levels of feng shui. So most people have results within 9 days to 9 weeks that they have a shift of energy. So somebody just texted me on my Instagram, and last week he changed his desk around, made sure he could see the door, activated his successive action, and a few days later he got a promotion. He said, I've been waiting for years for that promotion, and suddenly it's like they could see me, right? And I
Mm,
said, well, put yourself in such a position that in the quantum field of your environment, you're saying to the universe, I am ready to receive.
right.
I am ready to attract that success. So that's why I created this program, and that's Diamond Feng Shui, where we bring together the law of attraction and we work together how your brain waves are working. And also with kinesiology, we work to show people how these directions are really aligned. And the moment you start changing that, it's like I would say the flow opens up. And so people start attracting all the things they had in their mindset, but they couldn't land. They couldn't integrate. They couldn't manifest in the physical form because their home was blocking them instead of supporting them.
Mm. Get your home to support you. Oh my gosh, not block you. And yes, I could see where all of those visual cues, like you said, the gold, and you've got your awards there, and you were suggesting a globe behind me because I'm going global, and it's up leveling that picture that you have of your future self. You're putting
Yes,
yourself in that future, right? I mean, and that's the
correct.
energy that becomes you. And then when you go out into the world, like your client, he was charged with that frequency, and boom, he said, they recognized me. Whereas
Yes,
before,
correct.
his yes, absolutely. That is fascinating. Oh my gosh.
Well,
You could
it is
you
like
you could
setting
have a
up. Yes,
go
it's
ahead.
like setting up yeah, it's like setting up a three-dimensional vision board all around you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So, and as
exactly
you
what it
live in
is.
it, as you live in it, you sleep in it, you work in it, you become it.
Yes. Yes, you become it. Absolutely. And all those cues that are around you all the time are just reminding you of that's who you are. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, given what are power positions then, and how do they affect energy number?
So the power position is kind of what I shared already before, that you need to sit always to see the flow of energy, right? And so when you're with your back to the flow, you actually cannot connect with it, right?
Mm,
And so people are sometimes just not aware of it, that they also create flow themselves, right? By the way they position themselves, by putting things around them. But it's just also your home is a power position. So make sure that the entrance, for example, is shows power. Yeah. So make sure there's a fresh mat every year, right? When you come in, it shows like, wow, it feels like I'm coming in a castle with beautiful flowers or pictures of your family. You don't want shoes on the ground or coats hanging that are too visible, because I have to be honest, I've been in many palaces and I've been in many billionaire homes. They never have shoes on the ground or coats hanging at the entrance. They all tuck that away in a box or in a cabinet. So you don't want to see chaos when you come in. Yeah. So you need to understand your house also needs to be a power position. So when you come out from your house, you feel, really strong. But when you come into the house, you feel strong too. And so a lot of people, for example, do not use their front door, but they use their back door or they use their
yeah.
garage. And I
Yeah.
always say, how can you be in a power position? I mean, literally, you're using the entrance of the servants. You're using the entrance of the people that come to work for you, right? So the front door is what the queen, the king, the president will use to come in, and that's a power vibration. Yeah. And so everywhere where you set things up, look at your house and think like, is this reflecting my future more powerful self? Or is it connected it with, when I started, or like where I didn't feel that great? Always up level things. And sometimes it doesn't mean you have to buy new furniture. It just can be that you want to put some new fresh pillows in it, or you have all dried up flowers. Yeah. And so, or flowers that are pointy with pointy leaves, put something that is lush and blooming, even if it's fake. I mean, this is a fake plant, to be honest, but it looks real, right? So it's not that you have to really spend money. Most of us have a lot of things around us that we can just up level. And if you don't have the big budget, then you just start with adding a few things. It's all about moving your desk. Doesn't cost you money, by the way, right? Decluttering doesn't cost you money. Perhaps some garbage bags, that's all, right? So it's all about literally starting to create your home more beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. It's the feeling you get, the emotion that you get when you step into your home, when you step out into the world. It's it's as though you're plugging into your house, or your house is plugging into you, as opposed to just using it as a space to dump everything, to dump
Yes.
your, your shoes, your clutter, your garbage, because that's what you're dumping into your energy and you're dumping into your mind. But how about making it something that uplifts you? Oh my gosh. Marie, it's simple, but it's something we don't consider. We don't consider, and you're absolutely right. Here in America, especially, we enter through the garage door because you bring the car in. It's so much
Yeah.
easier, because then you'd have to go back out around and go through the front door and unlock it. But maybe well, not maybe, I know you're right, because those that are in those positions do not go in through the garage door.
Well,
Wow.
and sometimes you need to find a good balance in it, right?
Yes.
So, for example, I go sometimes out with the dogs walking, and the easiest way is to use my garage here in the US, right? But when I go out to see a client, I will never use my garage, yeah, because
Mm,
I go into power, right? So
right.
that I use my front door and I come back from my front door, right? Or but if I do errands, yes, of course it's easier, right, to go back in and out, but don't do it all the time. When you go to work, when you go to meet important people or you meet friends, use your front door, because you'll be more recognized, you'll be more appreciated for who you are than if you use your garage.
Yes. You're igniting your mindset to that upper level, to the mat,
Correct.
to the royal level. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I love that. Well, we may have answered this question, but let me know if there's anything else you would love to add. How does feng shui attract the life of your dreams?
Well, a lot of people, of course, have vision boards, right? They have
Mhm.
goals or they journal. And so, or they have, affirmation cards. So there's many ways that people try to focus on their success. So I always say to people, where do you place that? Yeah. So I have people that placing it on their nightstand, but it's still in an area where you're asleep. So how can your goals really manifest, right? So I always suggest, check out your success direction on the free app, Marie Diamond app, and look in your office or look in your living room, or even if you can't do anything else and in your bedroom, then make sure your success action is decluttered, and then put images there that are related with your success, but also hang there your vision board. Make sure you put there your journal where you write your goals. So it's like the energy of the things you want to manifest, the wind of your success direction will bring it easier and with less effort to the top of the mountain, and that means to the universe. So, you can do things without feng shui, but it will cost you more energy. And so it's all about
Mhm.
ease and effortless vibration. And so by doing that, you will really affect your good luck by using your success direction. So that's the first thing I always suggest to people. Look into that. What is hanging there right now? Right. So I remember when I was working with Rhonda Byrne, the creator of The Secret, right?
Mhm.
That really, and I would say, initiated the whole law of attraction movement like 15 years ago. And so in her success direction was a garbage can, was clutter. And I said to her, how is it going with spreading the message of The Secret? She said, like, I really am at the ends. It's not working. The secret is not working for me. That were her words. And I said, but what do you want? And she said, well, I would love that my DVD and my book that is coming out comes to Oprah Winfrey. So we literally went to buy an Oprah Winfrey O magazine, and we put
Mm.
it in her success direction with her DVD and the script of her upcoming book. Yeah. So she didn't even have the book yet. Okay. So
Yeah.
we put it there. And I said, okay, we need to look at a globe because you want to make it global. She said, I'm already happy if it becomes successful in the USA. I said, no, 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 no. This is going to be translated in many languages. I can see that, right? I'm already European. I'm the only European in The Secret. So I'm like, of course, it will go to Europe. It goes to many countries. So we put a globe in her relationship direction, and within a few months, the Oprah Winfrey production called her. But I also, on top of it, asked my clients that were in The Secret, like the late Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, John Gray, and many others, to really put Oprah in their success direction and to make, they already were feng shui, they were already ready. Then I worked with a PR agency. I worked with a publishing company to all set up their feng shui. And that's one of the reasons people call me the secret behind the secret, because I was the common factor between all the people. And ultimately, that is where the secret became very successful.
Oh my gosh, I love that story. You collaborated with everybody to get a group vibration to
Correct.
to up to yes to up level that vision that everyone had, and that vision for it to not only be on the Oprah show but to also go global. Yes, there is nothing more powerful than a vision, and what you teach is facilitating that vision, how to work with your energy to make it a reality, basically. Yes,
Correct.
absolutely
But
fabulous. That
can you imagine that everyone is doing that, right? So that's why I decided to go mainstream, right? To work with a TV show, to have the book out with Hay House, in all the good bookstores, to really help to understand. And, and I have already so many millions of people that have listened to me and are practicing even some basic feng shui with their energy number. And so what happens because of it is that literally they are creating a new quantum field. Yeah, not just with their
mm.
mind, not just through spirit, but their homes are all up leveled to create a new reality.
So, Marie, you have brought feng shui into the 21st century, which is absolutely incredible. Tell us a little bit more about the Feng Shui app, how people can use it, and your diamond compass work.
So when I started teaching feng shui, and we trying to help people understand to use the compass, I found out that people don't use the compass anymore. So only people that go camping or hiking, they're really good at it. And so I was looking for a way to, make it easier for people to understand so they don't have to really know how to work with a compass. And so when the applications came out, I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So I created the calculation, the system in place that people, when they put in their birthday and their birth gender, that they actually get their energy number and they get the diamond compass. And so the diamond compass is literally based on your energy number. So everybody needs to download it for themselves, but you can check in the system other people's numbers. So, and then, for example, for your friend, it will tell the right directions, and then you can share it through all kinds of formats, through Instagram, emails, telephones, whatever. You can share it so they can download it and put their own number in, because it is so personal. We cannot change the profile. Yeah. And
Mm.
so what you also have on it is there are several meditations on it, because I have understood that you need to also prepare yourself as in an inner feng shui level, right? To be ready before you do your decluttering, before you do your aspects of feng shui. And so there also is a daily message with a daily
Mm.
tips that they're getting. And so, of course, a lot of videos to start to really practice feng shui.
Wonderful. And those are free, correct?
Yes, so there is a free level that stays free for everybody. And for people that
Right.
want to do more meditations, connect with their energy number, and get a monthly package, they can upgrade. But all the information you need to start feng shui, to work with the book, is for free.
Wonderful. We'll be sure to get all that information on the Epic Vision Zone bio pages. But thank you so much for that. So, give us insight into your Diamond Feng Shui system and how it is unique in the Feng Shui practices.
Well, I am a classical feng shui trained. So let me repeat that. I'm a classical feng shui master, so I am trained in the original feng shui systems. So that is compass school, landscape, water dragon formula, flying star. So all the names that typical feng shui masters will use. And when I learned all this, I'm from background a lawyer, so I love very analytical information. And so when I studied with my grandmaster, at the end of the day I was studying, I was already explaining to other students how to do it. It's like I have this mind that I can make something that's very complex very easy. That's kind of, I think, one of my gifts in life. And so when I started teaching people, they were like, oh, so interested in like how I made it so simple. But it's still very advanced feng shui, but just making it more accessible. I would say perhaps more sexy, just much more fun to play with.
Right.
Yeah. And so I felt like we need that creative aspect to it. And then in the years I started working, I really received also information about certain colors, what we call quantum colors, that work in the quantum physics field for everyone. Yeah. And
Mm.
so there are certain colors that we can place around us or connected with our energy number that uplevels us, our energy, and expands and connects us better with the quantum physics field. So there's like 24 colors that we work with. And that's also explained in Feng Shui Your Life, but there's also other books like the Diamond Energy Principles that talk about it. And so when people put these images around it or these colors around it, it's almost like your connection with your soul, with your spirit, becomes much stronger. And it even affects them even stronger to manifest. And then we also brought in the whole theory of the brainwaves, yeah, because certain directions will create for us beta brainwaves, and that will give us less good energy. And if we go into alpha, even we can go into theta and delta vibrations in your home by using the feng shui. And then I also was looking for a way to show people, that they could feel. Like not everybody is sensitive. Like you are sensitive, and when you're sitting against the wall, you could feel it. Now most people don't feel it, to be honest, right? So they
Wow.
see the result, but they don't feel it. Yeah. And so I started implementing kinesiology, muscle testing, And so when I'm in front of people, I'm teaching on seminars, I always bring in the strongest man of the audience, and I show them like how muscle testing, if he faces his right direction, he immediately becomes strong. And when he's facing the wrong direction from him, immediately becomes weak. So if your body becomes weak, then think about how your brain becomes weak. Yeah. So
Mhm.
this is actually where we brought all this together. And then of course the information around quantum physics field, as I studied a lot of the quantum physics, you know, quantum mechanics, quantum mathematics. That's something I've been always passionate about. So I started bringing it more together between the Eastern knowledge and the Western knowledge, and to explain it as easy as possible. And by using the app, I can talk about it to anyone in the Western world, right? So if they're scientists or they're engineers, anyone, they understand that yes, it works and they are using it. And it's wonderful to know that, athletes or, musicians or actors, whenever they start, they do a little affirmation, they make sure they're facing the right direction to do the affirmation or do the prayers or it's really interesting. So it becomes part of your lifestyle, and it's not just like a one-time thing when you do it. That's why people use constantly the app, because if they, for example, want to work out, they want to face their health direction, right? If they want to meditate, they face their wisdom direction. If they want to have a romantic dinner, they make sure they face their relationship direction. So people use it all the time and with great results. And I love it. I love sharing it this way because it is advanced knowledge, but in a modern system.
Mm. Yes, so applicable to everyone's daily life as well. Like you said, you can, go to that because whatever you're trying to attract, you want to use everything in your power to make that a reality. And this will help you face the direction where it is most powerful. Oh my gosh, what an incredible tool. And I'm sure there's so much more to it. So thank you. I'm grateful that you were able to, we've got the technology today now that people can use something like this because it is very valuable. I can't wait to try it out myself for sure. Absolutely. Well, tell us about a little bit more insight into your book and your courses, because I personally can't wait to get my hands on this book. I think it's going to be fascinating.
Well, like I shared, I was looking for having a book that it feels like Marie is with you, right? Marie is bringing you through your home step by step to activate your good directions, but also to go room by room. Like, what are some tips that you can use in a very practical way and with some stories and some extra tips? And so people that have been reading it said, we can't put it down. It's just so easy read, and right away we go into action. So that is ultimately the whole idea of it. And so it came out with Hay House, and it's in the good bookstores and on Amazon, of course. And so I'm super proud of it because it's really a beginner's guide, but it's also for people that are advanced in feng shui, already know it, advanced feng shui, get a lot out of it. Yeah. But it's like I'm taking you by the hand to go through your home. That's kind of the whole purpose of it. And then, of course, if people want to go to the next level, they can go to mariediamond.com. There are online courses we have. And of course, every year, as there's a Chinese New Year, we are always looking at what is the feng shui for the new year, right?
Mm.
Because as you have your basic feng shui and connect with your personal number, there is a time factor to feng shui. And so based on every year, we have certain extra acupuncture points that we're putting, like where do we put a fountain? Changes year by year. Where we put extra crystals to activate or networking. So, do we add some extra acupuncture activations, as we call them, into your home. And that is something that people can look into for the feng shui of this year. But we also have a very special vision board program every year that we're doing, because you can set up your vision board, but there's a specific way to set up your vision board based on your birthday. Not just where you place it, but how you set it up. And so people have had amazing results with it. For the last 15 years, we're doing this program. And so it's really magnificent. And myself, I've used this all the time to attract what I desired, like coming from Europe, arriving here in the US, many years ago, and then starting like from nothing, literally. And within a year and a half, I'm in a movie called The Secret. So it's just like, how did I attract that? How things are so easy and effortless for me. Well, do I work hard? Yes, of course. I have a good mindset. I am grateful. I have a really positive attitude. I do take action all the time, but I have great feng shui and I meditate. So I'm connected with the universe all the time. So what happens is that my feng shui that I practice is aligning myself with my spirit and my mindset. So it's all one energy field. And that's
Mm,
what is feng shui your life going to help you with.
right. The power of alignment.
Correct.
Absolutely. Because we can wish, we can think, we can dream, but there's so many other aspects of it. And that is when you bring that, like for me, what you've done is alchemized all of the powers to up so that you can be your best, I guess, conduit to your desired future.
Yeah.
You
I
just
totally agree.
you
Yeah, I totally agree. Feng shui is an alchemy level of the environment. It's just like we're taking, some things that perhaps we see is not really important. Could be a candle, could be a crystal, could be a color, but putting it in the right place in your quantum field really up levels your energy, alchemizes your environment,
mm,
so that all the things that you're thinking, feeling, and doing, and praying and meditating in that space creates what I call an enlightened vibration. Yeah. So the
mm,
light can come in, everything has light, has energy in it. So, but if we want to really create a different reality, we need to change our vibration. But it's so difficult for people to change their vibration if their home is full of clutter, if their home is not aligned with what they desire. So it's like, I always say, think about you're spending perhaps 10 minutes a day, half an hour to create the right energy, to do the meditations, the affirmations, the prayers that you want to do, and you're thinking that is enough. But your home is working 24 hours a day, constantly. Now, if that is aligned with what you desire, it will do its work so that on subconscious level, it's manifesting constantly, even if you are not consciously thinking about it anymore.
right. Yes, absolutely. Therein lies the core to this practice, right there, because you are surrounded by these things or inspirations or not every moment of the day. And you're absolutely right. Whether we realize it or not, our subconscious is absorbing that, and it's influencing us. So make it a positive influence. Make your home a positive influence on yourself. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, Marie, this is incredible information. What is next on the horizon for you? Any upcoming offerings that you'd like to share? I know you mentioned the vision board. Maybe tell us when, if you have something that's beginning. I feel like that might be something that's coming up. But is there anything else that you would love to share?
Well, I think the first thing I would love people to start with is get the book, Feng Shui Your Life. and to get the app, because that get them started. And then of course, if they want to continue, working with the feng shui vision board that we have, you can go to mariediamond.com. It's always present, always there, even if it's for another year. I don't know, whenever you see the show, there's always an updated system for every year. And also the feng shui for the year that is coming up, right? How to activate it, your home extra for that new year coming. So that's already, I would think, the first steps for people. And of course, connecting with my YouTube channel. I have also my own podcast. And you also check out Maire Diamond Official on Instagram. You have amazing little videos there that can support you, even on TikTok. So there's so much generous information available for you to start. And I always say to people, don't think, oh, I have all these excuses not to start. I had this one client, and he was living in a tent in LA, and he was totally down on his luck. And he used the app. He had an iPhone, an old phone, where he could download the app, and he put in all his good directions little post-it notes with the words on that he wanted to manifest, like, I am living in an apartment, I have a car. And so 3 years later, he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment, has a car, a brand new car, has a girlfriend, and he has a great job. And so I always say to people, there are no excuses. You can start with hanging just post-it notes.
If there were one critical message you could share with the world, Maire, what would that be?
Well, I would say there's a question I ask myself every day in the morning. I always ask, how can I love more? Yeah. And
Mm.
that's like something I'm asking. And I don't know how that loving more is that day. It could be a smile. It could be talking today with you and sharing my wisdom. It can be just helping somebody in the shopping center that you have. It can be somebody helping in the shopping center you're visiting. I don't know what it is. But for me, that has been a crucial question every day. How can I love more? And so by asking that question, this is where it led me to share my wisdom with the world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone, I have one last question for you. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think my title would be I am here to enlighten the world.
Yes, I can see that. That is absolutely beautiful and so becoming for sure. Well, thank you again, Maire, for joining us here today and sharing your incredible gift of feng shui and so much more. Once again, for information and to connect with Maire, go to the Epic Vision Zone bio pages where you will find all of her social media and direct contact information. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. And don't forget to connect with me at janeapplegath.com, where you can access your free downloads, Power Creative and Vision Play Sheet. I'm sending you much love and greatness. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.